directly from me to you. Oh yeah, I say, give back the people back their microphone so they say everything that they want. Give the people back their microphone, say it as it is. Express what you wanna say right now. Express what you wanna say. Express what you wanna say right now. Express what you wanna say. Some cannot handle the naked truth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have to put on their cloaks and their armor. Aspirations lost in false interpretation. What has been swept aside will eventually be found. Give the people back the microphone so they say everything that they want.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. We're going to have some awesome dialogue and we'll have a good show. We got Lorenzo. This is the younger conservative. I love his page, by the way. I
Yeah.
love your page. And we got DC Bronner at the top. He came on here with us last time. And we got my new Facebook buddy that I just met maybe a couple months ago, Marlon Brown. He just went viral. Got to check his stuff out. Everybody look at all these pages. These pages are dope. And they always talk about the truth. And that's what I'm for. I like the truth.
That's right.
But let's get into it, right? We I'll send everybody the video of Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake put out a PSA for young black men and older black men in the world, and he pretty much, I don't know, I feel like it was a crock of shit. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. What did y'all think about it? And Lorenzo, you can go first. What did you think about the video?
Well, I think that, accountability is like the number one thing, right? And I know, like, when it comes to, black culture and police brutality, like, these things really, all have an effect, right? And
Right.
so, like, point is, he's a rapist, right? Like, he admitted he didn't admit it. I don't know if he admitted it, but there's, like, proof out there that he has warrants out for his arrest, and, like, he knows what he did. And I think, black people just embracing, this man after what he did is just, it's tragic. What about the victims?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they not matter? Do their black lives not matter? So it's just so much contradiction that we don't talk about in our communities.
I agree with you 100%. 100%.
Yep.
I think I watched it, and my thing is, if you really look at it, it's kind of one of those things where it could have go, he could be, going either way with it. Like, it's kind of vague.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if he's saying it like against his own behavior, or if he's just saying making some vague statement,
Right.
just to show face or whatever. So it really depends on his intentions behind it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to gauge his intentions, from the small little video. So I'm interested in like how he moves forward at this point. Like, if
Yeah.
he's gonna regret, what level of regret does he have for his role and what was going on, and not only his role in what happened to him, but his role in all the chaos that followed. And so I don't know if he was really speaking out against what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just saving face. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. What do you think, Marlon, of the PSA?
Seen his PSA. I'm going based on um, the original arrest,
Mm-hmm.
based on his original record, and I'm going based on his parents, because his mom and dad are diametrically opposed in how they are going at this. I
Right.
think he has a stepdad, and he looked like he's He might be from Africa. I think he might be the way he's looking because he didn't say a word during the interview they had on
Hmm.
TV when she was talking to Don Lemon.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, he didn't say a word, so I didn't know because I saw him and then I saw this big dude that said he was his dad, and I was like, okay. And then I think he got most of his traits from his pops because his
Yeah.
dad didn't take responsibility for anything. He just straight up blamed the cops. I don't need white people for nothing. But then he's asking the white people to help him arrest cops. It didn't make any sense. He didn't say anything about how bad his son was. He didn't care about what his son did, but it's all the cops' fault, you know.
Yeah.
So
he he's
mom
doing
already went straight off the cuff and said, no, no, no. He
I
didn't want
love the
nothing.
mom. I loved her.
yeah the woman. He's doing what I don't know if y'all familiar with the balls like LeVar Ball and
Yeah,
Alonzo Ball and them.
remind me of
Yeah.
that.
It's the exact same thing. It's the opportunistic dad trying to get a little shine, get his 15 seconds of fame, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
capitalize on it that way. So he's so fake and disingenuous, and I don't think he does his son or the movement, their movement,
Yeah.
any
But
good
that's
at
what they
all.
all do. They all capitalize, off of the emotions of black people and just people in general.
Exactly.
Like it's
Mhm.
ridiculous. Al Sharpton, oh my,
Oh gosh.
like
You
come on,
Oh
like
my God. I'm gonna
running
give
around
you
in
a hand
private
clap.
jets, like
You're the first young person that I know
Al
that even
Sharpton's a
knows who the
joke.
hell Al Sharpton is.
He's so
Yeah, he's a
cool.
joke.
Can't stand
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Big bad all the time. I'm sorry. I don't
He
like it.
lost everything but his gas bag. I mean, that dude he's lost all
Exactly.
kinds of weight, but he's still full of hot air. I don't know how he pulled that off.
MIA. I have to know what you think because you're always quiet. What did you think about the video?
It's tragic. Like I mean, like Lorenzo said, why are we attaching ourselves to this person? Why are we? Because we're following this narrative
Mm-hmm.
of putting down black people. So it's just the fact that he's black and oh okay,
Facts.
we're gonna go
I
with
have to agree with that.
like that's it. It don't matter if he did right or not. None of that. It's just the fact that he's black and we're gonna go with it.
I will say, um, since this whole thing has happened, and I've watched social media and watched how people have responded, I've just been like low key just disgusted because this guy's on, people's helmets in the NFL. He's got people in the NBA bigging him up, calling him a victim, saying, justice for him. And everybody has forgot about his rape victim. Like, there's a girl still out there watching all this. She's watching
Right.
all this. And just imagine how she feels about how the America, because it's a lot of us are reacting to this in a weird ass way. It's just like we don't value. I'm just gonna say it. I feel like when the perpetrator's black and he does something to a black woman, there's really no outrage or just like people being pissed off.
I
Yeah.
do agree with that.
It
I
it's
Like
just
definitely
like
like.
it's just like in our music. Like you can say anything you want about a black woman in our music, but let you start stepping outside the bounds, start talking about gays, and start talking about
Mm-hmm.
trans men and women, then it becomes an issue. But these corporations, they'll push the disrespect of our women all day long. Call them B's and H's all they want, but and they want nobody will stand up for it. Nobody will stand up for our women.
Right.
But when it comes to these trans men, trans women, these whatever QZTs, whatever, they have all the support in the world, all the support of the corporations, of sports leagues, all this
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
I call them the alphabet
So
crew.
yeah,
See, but I think
it definitely
that
makes me mad.
I think that like in itself, like I think that's the job of us, as black people to actually stand up against, because that's a culture thing, just
Yeah,
disrespecting black women
Hmm.
is a culture thing,
it
and
definitely
like
is.
so many of us, so many black women have grown up to internalize to think that it's normal So of course they're not gonna stand up in mass and like protest against it like gays and lesbians and T's and Q's and R's like they
Mm-hmm.
are. You know what I'm saying? So it's the norm, and it's
Yeah.
our job to stop it. That's what conservatism is for. But people just they goes right over their head, you know.
They
Well,
I
don't
I
mean,
think
a lot of
understand.
people getting it. A
we're
lot
at a
of people,
point
getting with it.
where we got to
Yeah.
decide if we're gonna sit on the sidelines and be quiet and be the little good child that sit in the corner and let the rest of the big boys play and let them have their say and we don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get banned, yeah, but that's normal. That's what they do to conserve. We get that mindset that we have either there or we gonna rambo out.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're at a point where we have to rambo out. We just have to
People,
start flexing our muscle and start saying, okay, you can hit me once, hit me
Yeah.
again and see what happens. You know,
exactly.
I think
Facts.
for too long, and I think that's why I like Trump. He's the first, I think, since Reagan, he's the first president that's a Republican that ever seen he don't take crap from nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You fire
Exactly.
a shot at him, and he'll pull out a bazooka and blow you away.
Trump is an anomaly. If we
He
really
will
think
not.
about it, he is an anomaly. There will never be another president like this,
And,
Nope.
ever.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
if you just look at the black conservative movement, like we're a lot different than black conservatives of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And conservatives in general, like we get that fire from Trump. He gives that kind of boldness to our conservatism to like speak out, and not care. Like I've always been that way, but
Right.
Trump Trump has brought that out of our generation of conservatives, or this new wave of conservatism. And it's a force. It's a force. They don't want to recognize it, but it's a force to be reckoned with.
Hmm.
You know.
Back to your point about um, how how we view the black women in the world now. But you have to understand, it's not just the men doing it. The women in rap music do it too.
Yep,
Exactly.
they do.
They're,
Nicki
they're
Minaj.
getting
Yep.
driven by that. When you said the NBA and the NFL, how many times do you see within the last 15 years domestic abuse by these men, and none of them get kicked out of the league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll get a 1 game ban, fine here, but they can beat women. You can have them on video like Ray Rice. You can have him on video dragging a female from an elevator and punching her.
Yeah.
And you still have people that say, well, we don't know the situation. We don't know why. Like what? I mean, you don't know why. Why do you have to have a reason for a background for that one? Like seriously, you're 15 times stronger than she is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you gotta punch her in the stomach, grab her by the hair, throw her to the ground, put her up against the wall, and then walk out the elevator with her subdued like nothing happened. But it takes a whole month for him to get run out the league.
Right.
You still have men in there now that still are playing and are revered, and have been domestic abusers. So
Right.
it's just a part of the whole that they want to push what they want to push if it doesn't agree with what they think.
Yeah.
You can
The
go to
narrative.
Hmm.
them, they will protect you at all costs. If you, it's just like Biden, you could touch children, you could touch them inappropriately, but as long as you're towing their line, you're good. You know.
Facts.
Yeah. That speaking of that line, like we learned that from when Rick Ross put out I forgot what song it was in, but he mentioned date rape.
Oh, he
Uh,
did.
slipping in a drink. Yeah, that was their limit, because that was around the Me Too time and everything. And he didn't say all this about our women, degrading our women in so many ways, so many disgusting ways. But now you decide, because this is part of your narrative. Now you want to step up, say something about it, and rightfully so. That was wrong what he said, but he been doing this. He been
Yeah.
stepping out of bounds, and so they only step up and do what they have to do, like you said, when once it goes against their narrative.
It does. It seems like as long as the perpetrator's black, we don't give a crap. But let it be a white
Hmm.
person, all hell breaks loose. And
Right.
people don't understand why a lot of black conservatives are just like, stop saying Black Lives Matter, bro, because they don't matter to you. They
Yeah.
obviously don't matter. There's nothing that a liberal or or a Black Lives Matter supporter. I had one on my show last Monday. There's nothing that you could ever say to prove your theory, your narrative that Black lives don't matter. LeBron James is an American icon.
That American
People,
asshole. He is.
I can't stand LeBron. I cannot stand him. I
That
go
dude
at him
is.
all the time, but there's evidence that black people are loved in America. I'm just tired of hearing the same sob story. We
Right.
nobody values us. Nobody likes us. Like, shit, do you like yourself?
Exactly.
Don't
It's
act
like
like.
I had this conversation. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying no. They don't act like it. Think about how you talk about yourself, what you listen to, the people you surround yourself with, the things you do every day.
Right.
Do you like yourself?
Mm.
I had the conversation just as I had a live stream with Corey Fair,
Hmm.
and we were discussing stuff, and it crossed my mind today was about this white privilege thing, you know.
Hmm.
And I told him to us like, so whose country do you think you're in? Like, if we
Mm.
go back to the crux of this, whose country do you think you're in? Who really founded America?
Mm.
Do you think you had a hand in this really? Because all you were purchased merchandise at first, and they decided to give you a voice. If
Yeah.
we want to be real about this, white people decided to do what they had to do to create this place. Okay, so let's start there. And if we want to go even further back, the whole reason that white people are the way they are and have the power they have, they were the ingenious ones to do things that nobody else did.
Right.
They got the upper hand somehow, but they got it. You know, you got to give them props for getting the upper hand somehow. It's no different than the Persians trying to beat, you know, the Spartans, and the Spartans got the upper hand.
Hmm.
And
Facts.
the
What's
thing
that?
about that the thing about that people don't understand, like, yes, it was white people that, went around and, did all these, great explorations, great things, through science and all kinds of things. But it was only a small percentage of white people. Like, the vast majority of white people throughout Europe, throughout their history, they've been dirt poor and backwards, just like, all other societies in India and,
Hmm.
Africa and China and things like that. It's only a small, portion of white people that actually, you know, created the Western world as we know it, and it brought about all the things like that. So that delegitimizes the idea of, white supremacy in itself right there, and
Yeah.
also the idea that any other race is beneath them. But we can give them credit, that portion of white people that created the West, and that created everything that we know now, and we can give them that credit, but it doesn't say that white people are above or beneath anybody else because it's just not true.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah. And they're not above. They're not above, but at the same time, you are, and I told them this, you are living in America, okay? Let's just be honest, blacks didn't found America. Okay?
Hmm.
You want to go to a place that has a black leadership, Africa would be that place, but only certain spaces in Africa too.
Hmm.
And if you look at the places that they have reign and power, and I mean monarchy power, it's trash.
Yeah.
It's absolute trash. So if I'm trying to say to myself, okay, is power what I make it, or is power what I see people, pushing? Because if I'm going to say I want to go back and be black is power and black is this and black is that, if I'm looking at an all black society and I'm seeing the result, I'm sorry, I don't want an all black society if that's what they're going
I
to look at.
look. I don't either, bro. They can
I see
keep that.
Chicago. I don't want an all black society. I'm good. I'm real good. I want diversity. Give me some other races in there too, because I think they come with some good ideas. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you also have this group mentality and this mindset that if you're together as blacks, then you have to have one type of thinking, and I think that's what's killing
That
them
is
in
so
Africa.
wrong.
One type
Yeah.
of thinking, and I think that's what's
Hmm.
been killing the Democrat black man. Is for a long time he has to think like the rest of them, and when he doesn't, he gets ostracized, and you get
Hmm.
caught in names. What us conservatives used to that all the time because we think against the grain anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
once we start gaining that momentum and showing them, you see, they don't really care about you if you don't think like them. You just got to
Hmm.
open your eyes. They're not trying to get equality. What they're trying to get is your equity in their back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not your equality, your equity. They want your name, they want your color attached to them. And once you don't give them that, you're worthless to them. You
Right.
know.
Mm.
It
Which,
it's definitely I hear a lot of people say that, black people are monolith. We basically operate in a hive mind mentality. And Joe Biden confirmed what a lot of Democrats and a lot of white liberals even think of black people when he got on live TV and said that we're not diverse, except for the notable exceptions. I like to call them token Negroes. We knew who he was talking about. He was
Oh,
talking about the Obamas.
the Al
Yeah.
Sharps.
He
the
was
Don Lemon.
exactly Don Lemon. He was talking about Kamala Harris. Why are they diverse? I don't know. I feel like a lot of they treat us almost like subhuman beings. Like we're not black. And we didn't have the black experience
That's
in the
what
world.
Biden said.
It's sad. Let me read a couple comments because we do have a lot of people watching us. Let me go back. It doesn't matter what race you are. We all bleed red in a war. Facts. It doesn't. It really doesn't matter your skin color. I don't know why. I'm still trying to find out why it's been made a huge, major deal. It's just
I,
ridiculous.
I think I think it matters like in the in the sense that it shows if we use it to glorify God. I don't know if y'all religious or how
I'm
religious
Christian.
your
Yes, I
views
am.
are. Yeah, but in it glorifies God to see the the magnitude and the diversity of His creation.
Hmm.
But as far as our earthly concerns and things to do with us as humans, like
Hmm.
it's nothing. But on a spiritual sense, you know, it does glorify God to see the diversity of His creation, and not only in our physical, but also in our mental capacities and our talent and everything that make us different from one another. So I think it does, matter because if it didn't matter, I don't think God would have made it, this
Right.
way, But
I can agree with that. I think that we're all diverse and different for a reason. Um,
hmm
I agree with that. But when people just put
Cause
so much emphasis on it, I'm black.
yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
When you start glorifying it, yeah, that's the problem with it. When you glorify it, because blackness has become an idol. Like we
Yeah,
idolize it, we worship it. We wear it on T-shirts. It's all in our songs and the music. Like it's
yeah.
become an idol. And not only that, not only the blackness itself, but certain elements of black culture have become idolized too, like criminality. That's why we see it in music. That's why if you attack a criminal like Jacob Blake or something like
Hmm.
that, people get highly offensive because these are idols. We idolize that lifestyle. That's why there's a trap museum, for God's sake, in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
that's
Because
crazy.
criminality has become an idol. So there's so much idolization in black culture and in our community. It's crazy. It's getting out of hand.
It definitely is. I'm an old white lady and I'm proud of you guys for standing up. I think you're brave. Well, thank you. We appreciate you watching. I'm going to pin that comment. That was cute. Intelligent conversation. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for commenting. I'm going to let Marlon comment on everything we were just talking about. I want to know your thoughts.
Oh my God. I'm still
Um,
here, guys. By the way,
I agree that everything we have to do has to glorify God, right? When we do a thing,
Hmm.
um, the the bigger picture for me, and I'm having this discussion as we're talking now with a white dude, and trying to make him stand by his idea that there is a privilege for them and all this
Hmm.
crap. And he keeps going back to yeah, because they have years of being ahead of the game, and but then he'll come back and ask me, what does that have to do with now? And I'm thinking in the same thing. Yeah, exactly. So what does that have to do with now? You
Right.
know, and because I had this discussion, and he said, well, all your points are debatable because I said you can't tell me it's white privilege. It might be a white preference for some people. Like if I have a business
Yeah.
and and I'm hiring white people because that's what I want to hire. That's not a privilege. That's partially racism, but that's my preference.
Yeah.
It's not a privilege. See, just because he's white is not. He doesn't. go to a different place and have the same privilege extended to him. Heck, you
Right.
could be white and go into Chicago and nobody will hire you. You
That's
know what I'm saying?
facts.
Because they don't you because they see you as racist. So if it really was a privilege, you could just get in.
Right.
But you can't because it's a preference, not a privilege. But they can't get that through their head for some reason because they're so stuck on them having they're so weird. They have this idea of themselves that they have something over you, but they're trying to make it seem like I don't really want it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this privilege, but I just happen to have it, and I'm sorry that I have it. You know, if I could give this privilege away, I would.
Yeah.
But in their mind, they think they have a privilege over you. In other words, they're trying to tell you you're less.
Yep.
Just understand that you're less, and once you understand that, then you'll be able to be more. I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you insane?
I talked about that on when we first started, when white privilege really got popular because nobody was talking about white privilege for a while.
No.
When it got popular, I talked about it on the show, and I'm like, you're admitting that you're better than black people,
It's
and you're essentially telling me you're racist. So
Exactly.
thank you for telling me.
right. Dude.
I've had conversations with people where they're like, just accept it. Like, I can't help it. And I'm like, but you're not better than me, bro. If I went to go apply for the same job you did, I'm probably going to make more than you because I have the skill and I have the degree to make more than you. It has nothing to do with you being white.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
see Asians complaining about white privilege. Like, Asians are doing much better
They
than
know
whites
math,
and
man. They
blacks.
do math.
Yeah,
Asians have it's about culture. I don't know if
it
you
is.
guys are big into Thomas Sowell. I love Thomas Sowell. He talks
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
I have 2 books by him.
Good. He talks about it in economy. It's about culture. Our culture as black people, we don't stress education. A lot
Oh
of
yeah.
us. We
We
do
don't.
not stress education. We don't stress you need to have a backup plan. Playing basketball and being a rapper, that might not come to you.
Yeah.
And because
Right.
we stress it so much, that's why we're overly represented in those areas.
There you
So
go.
imagine if we stress education as much. We would be just as represented in those areas.
We would.
How hard you work has an output. And people just can't seem to get that through their thick skulls. I don't understand.
Because they operate in feelings. We can
It's
think with
emotion.
logic. Black
Exactly.
people are extremely emotional. I used to be one of those black people. I was. I was
I was,
one.
yeah.
What
I
is
was.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if I'm just gonna talk about it. Breonna Taylor. I have been kind of silent. I don't like to comment on things that I don't know and I haven't thoroughly investigated, but I've been doing some investigating for like 2, 3 months now, just looking into stuff. And I'm just gonna say it. She was being investigated for a reason, right? Cops were looking at her house, her license plate, her address. They have her on several phone calls talking to the drug dealer. So she's an intricate piece to this investigation. Um, Now, do I think, I don't think she should be dead. But at the end of the day, when police knock, okay, and I'm going to show the viewers the snippet after we finish talking. When police knock and you yell, "Who is it?" and then you go for a gun and you shoot the gun, you don't know who's outside the door, you don't know anything, and they fire back, they didn't kill you because you were a black woman. Like this narrative of she was killed and she's black and they don't value black lives. I can give you 7 more white people that died the exact same way with little to no coverage, media wise. Several. I showed a few shows ago. I showed Daniel Schaefer. He was murdered in a hotel hallway by SWAT. Do you think SWAT got charged? All those cops got acquitted. He had no weapon. He had nothing. He was simply crying in a hallway following commands, and they lit this man up for no reason. You talk about Dylan Noble. Dylan Noble was killed in his bed. A no-knock warrant was issued for him regarding guns. Why are we talking about Breonna Taylor? She was being investigated.
Yeah, and it's tragic. Like you said, she should not be dead. But one thing that they can't understand and comprehend we're not excusing it. We're just saying that certain actions have consequences to them. And breaking the law is going to have consequences of the consequence of you running into law enforcement, and you running into law enforcement and resisting, lawful arrest. It has
Hmm.
consequences. So everything you do has consequences, and it doesn't necessarily mean that people should die or should be shot. That's just the nature of the business. That's just the nature of playing with the fire that they play with.
Right. I agree with that. What do you think? Because I know Lorenzo, you said you felt some type you needed to see
Okay,
some
so
information on it.
my thing is like, all right, I still feel like she shouldn't have died. You know what I mean? And you
Mm.
guys have said that yourself. So if you can admit that she shouldn't have died, shouldn't you say like there should be some sort of repercussion, at least suspension? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it's. I don't think
No.
he's
because
Not
suspended.
not
I
not
don't
if
know the full
That's why
facts of the
they,
case, so I'm not gonna be emotional. So I don't know.
Yeah.
not
I'm just saying
not if
that.
not if there was shots fired at the police, which there was. A police officer was shot, so they're gonna shoot back. But
Hmm.
it just
Oh,
goes
so
to
they
the
shot
fact
at
that
the police.
Yeah, he shot
Four,
yes,
first.
Oh,
four
okay.
shots.
yeah,
Four. The
and the
first
police
four
officer
shots
got
was
hit in the
towards his
leg.
boyfriend. He talking about how he thought someone was breaking into his house after they knocked and after they told him who was there.
Yep.
That dude was the only reason he's brown is because he's full of. Okay, that's the only reason he's brown. That is nonsense. You hear somebody knocking at your door, and they tell you who they are, and you're gonna tell me, "Well, I thought they were breaking."
Yeah.
Boy, and then you're gonna fire four shots after they tell you who it is, and you expect not to get lit up like a Christmas tree?
Hmm.
not
And
gonna happen.
that's the second part of my problem with Breonna Taylor. If you
Yeah.
live by that code, you die by that code. Because it
Yeah.
could have easily been somebody other than the cops that showed up to her house. It could have been somebody that didn't like the fact that she was working for the drug dealer, with the drug
Hmm.
dealer, and came to her house and lit her up same way. You know,
Yep.
we would have never heard about it because it would have probably been another black dude that killed her, and you would have
Yeah.
just heard about another shooting somewhere else. And
Exactly.
that's my
Facts,
problem with it.
man.
There's an
It's,
emotion element attached to this because it was cops and they were white. No one will talk about the fact of the case because they have to harp on the emotional aspect of it to make it sell.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't
it's
care whether she looked pretty in the pictures they took and put on the news. You could put lipstick on a pig too. That don't make a difference. It's still a pig. If you're gonna hustle and you're gonna sell drugs and you're gonna have a dead body in your trunk, if the
Hmm.
cops up to your house, just fess up you did something wrong.
Yeah.
But then you
Where does that come from? The story of the dead body. What I just saw that all of a sudden started
That's
becoming
what
a
the
thing.
investigation was initially about. It was a homicide investigation. It
read
wasn't
them
initially a
documents, bro.
drug.
Read them documents. You actually have transcripts of this nonsense. Transcripts of phone calls. They got
Hmm.
pictures of a car in places she shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
She had to let go
She
from
was a
her.
big piece of this enterprise. I'm gonna call it a drug enterprise because they were using the post office. Okay.
and they
And
was
she
cheating.
she was caught on video surveillance, show like he just said, being in places where she shouldn't be if she's innocent and not involved. But this is what happens when we don't wait for information. This is what happens. You get
And it makes
marches,
you miserable.
yeah. You get
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter riling everybody up. We need justice for Breonna Taylor. No, we don't. I'm sorry. I'm black. I love black people, but I also love correction. And I'm sorry, ma'am, but if you are involved in a drug enterprise, stupid things get stupid prizes, and it's unfortunate what happened to her. I don't think anybody should be dead, but I think we also need to hold each other accountable and say, you know what, you were involved in drugs, you were involved with all these things, and all these things contributed to why she's dead. We can't just blame the police simply because
Yeah.
she was black and the officer was white, because that's all it is.
The best way to avoid ever having another Breonna Taylor is to train up these children to not become like Breonna Taylor, and
Yeah.
do follow the path that she did. Learn how to choose your men wisely and who you lay up
Mm-hmm.
with, because
That's a
the
huge one.
the number one killer of black people is black criminality. It don't matter how you slice it. Like black criminality got Breonna Taylor killed. Black
Facts.
criminality got George Floyd killed. That put them in those situations to die, and that's the biggest thing. That's what we need to address above and beyond all things is the criminality within our culture and in our communities.
Yeah. Let me play this audio clip for people because a lot of people don't do proper research and they don't take the time to actually find these things. They just wait for the media to spit something out and say, this is what happened. So I want people to actually hear. It's like I tell everybody at the end of the show, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. But I'm going to show you what the boyfriend had to say. And he confirms that police did knock and that they shot first. It's unfortunate, but it happened.
Shooting.
We both get up, start putting on clothes. Another knock at the door. She's like, who is it? Loud at the top of her lungs. No response.
He says he and Taylor were watching a movie in bed when police knocked on their door.
You guys just considered this location as, and I've heard this a couple times throughout this investigation, as a soft target.
Right.
That's Sergeant John Mattingly admitting during a police interview they thought Taylor would be alone because they, quote, knew where their target was, appearing to refer to suspect Jamarcus Glover, who wasn't at Taylor's apartment.
Bang.
Okay, that's enough for you to hear. Okay, we just in that video alone, we have killed two narratives. The first narrative is she was sleeping in her bed. The boyfriend just said that they were up watching a movie. Second narrative, she yelled, "Who is at the door?" She yelled it. And the third thing is, I don't like when people lie. She was not in her bed when she got shot. She was in the hallway, just like the boyfriend was, trying to figure out who was at the door. I think, in my personal opinion, she got spooked. Like, do you know when you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, and you get a knock on the door, you kind of get on edge, like, oh, dang, who could that be? So the fact that they shot first, we just killed all the narratives that the media has portrayed. And black people, Black Lives Matter. I just destroyed Black Lives Matter. I can't stand them. I don't like the fact that they only represent lives that have been killed by white people, and that is not a lot.
Black Lives Matter, the organization is just a joke to me, honestly. God forbid, we say that, we're Uncle Tom. Like,
yeah.
A whole joke.
You're being nice. You're being nice. The joke is being nice. They're vile, bro. They are vile.
Yeah.
they really are, yeah.
When I heard about their mission statement, I didn't think it was true. I was having an argument with a friend of mine about it because someone was circulating this printed paper about what BLM, stands for.
Mm-hmm.
What the person did, all they did was transpose and make it in a flyer term what the actual agenda was. So when I told them this is what they actually believe, she says, no, it isn't. That's not what they. So I went to their webpage to make sure that
Yep.
they are worse than what that flyer said.
I will pull it up so everybody can see it.
There is no way they put this out for people to read. There's no way. And they went on and nothing, and I mean nothing, about the black males that got shot. They don't talk about black males in the family. They don't talk about saving the black male from cops. They talk about the female. They talk about the trans. They talk about the gay. They talk about the lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't mention the black man once in their mission statement.
And I have it pulled up so everybody can see. This is a Black Lives Matter website. I'll go back up so everybody can see. I'm not making this up. This is their official website. This is what they believe. And it says, we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, they don't say fathers, parents, and children are comfortable. We foster a queer affirming network. That was months ago when we found this out.
Yeah.
Months ago. And people are still behind this movement. Why are you here to disrupt the family? We know what the Western prescribed nuclear family is. It's the family. The father and mother.
That's not even a Western prescribed
Thank you.
family. That's a
It's
history
always been
prescribed
like this.
family. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a family that upholds society. It's ridiculous. Western prescribed family, crazy.
What is that clicking? I don't know what that is. But
Mhm.
we got to do better as people, and we can get into black culture. We touched on it a little bit as far as it's okay to disrespect our women in music. It's okay to disrespect each other as women because I've heard a lot of other, women use. Hopefully, no kids are watching. I'm sorry. We refer to ourselves as bitches and hoes and thoughts.
Oh,
Twerk. Save that for your man. I don't want to get on social media and watch somebody shake their ass. Like, that's not what we're on here for.
I literally in the car with three other guys just the other night, and on the way, as we're riding, the conversation
Mhm.
goes just like this. They're just like, if you find you a girl like that's really willing to listen and whatever, like it was just like what he was like, because women these days they're just independent. They're not trying to listen to their man and all of this. And I was just like, this is really what y'all think? We're not all like that. Like that. Like I don't know. It's just
Well, when that's all they see,
that's what I'm
especially
saying.
young guys
Like
like Lorenzo, I, maybe I'm just old school, but I'm sure you see a lot of twerking. I'm sure you've heard so many girls running around singing WAP. I
I
hate
mean,
that
I
song.
personally I like to see it, but I'm not gonna marry you. You know, like you know what I'm saying? Like you're not what I consider wifey material. And then the
Right.
thing is, they get mad when you say that. It's like, but you're not acting like you want to be someone's wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're
right.
acting like you're a good time. Like you know what I mean? Like
I'm so glad you said that. I hope a lot more young girls tune into this. He just told you what I say, what a lot of your moms probably told you. Ain't no man is going to marry you acting like that. Cardi B is not the role model. Neither is Megan the Stallion. As
No,
much as I like their music because I'm a fan of music, I just, they said tight beat. That's really all I'm listening to because I can't get down with a lot of stuff that they say. It's
and like we
entertainment.
yeah. And I feel like we really see ourselves in these celebrities. Like Cardi B said, "I don't cook, I don't clean, but I get this ring."
and
And
I
the
was like,
Hmm.
ladies was like, but I'm like, but Cardi B's rich. Like you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like she has maids. Like y'all are not the same. Stop. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? So it's like we got to snap out of the delusion because it's delusion at this point. We're not living in reality at this point. Like
Right.
you have to actually do things and bring something to the table to get married. Same for men. Same for
thank
Yeah.
men as well.
thank you.
Yeah. Look, I love Chris Brown, but I wouldn't marry Chris Brown because Chris Brown thinks it's okay to disrespect women and then talk about what he does sexually with them in music. That's all he does. And openly says he does drugs.
Open. Oh, he be telling on himself all the time.
I saw him in concert, like I said, I'm a huge fan of music. I went to his concert and it was amazing to see him because he's an amazing performer, but he looks coked out. You can tell he's on so many different drugs.
Like,
These people are not happy.
same with Future.
And he's even worse. Church of
Watch it.
misogyny? What?
So you guys want to hear something funny, right?
What's up?
So I'm in the middle of this conversation with you guys, and this clown, because I'm sorry, that's what he is. He might have money, but he a clown. I asked him the same question we told you, whether or not privilege is meaning that he's better than me, right?
Uh-huh.
He says, no, that's not what it means. It just means that I have an advantage. I'm not better than you. I just have the advantage.
What advantage?
Now you see how slow he is already, right off the top. Something ain't right. Not functioning. He says, if my family controls the local economy, don't you think I have the advantage? So I asked him, do you think he could walk into a ghetto in Chicago and get a job? Listen to the privilege in this. This is privilege. Listen to the racism in this man's statement. Why would I ever need to?
Wow.
Ah,
Wow.
Why would I ever need to? And that's the point. The ghetto doesn't control the economy.
you a.
Look.
Tell me if that's not
They always
racist.
expose their racism.
Don't they?
They always expose it.
Tell me if that's not racism to you. That's straight up. That is, bro. Like, I'm thinking to myself, and you don't see this. And I think that's the liberal mindset. I think that's the crux of it right there. They are so blind to their own racism that they project it on everybody but themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. That's all it is just projection.
Damn,
Projecting,
dude.
you know. And the thing about it is their obliviousness to it. Like pretty much it's pretty much law that anything that the left says or thinks or preaches is pretty much the opposite because it's a
Mm-hmm.
backwards ideology. They moving backwards. It's actually regressive. Because we've already progressed to a better society.
Right.
Republicans they were the progressives. Progressing towards a better society. And now that we've progressed, they have nothing else to do. So now they're actually regressing. So they're actually so backwards that they're damaging like the whole country and damaging our community. In the process.
I have to read this comment because this is hilarious. She said, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm just gonna say Miss Lerner. She said, "Oh my God, what is with the new music videos the kids listen to today? Some dude named DaBaby played a video at the VMA last week, and it showed him on top of a destroyed police car, what looked like the city burning around him. You know what? DaBaby
Why
has a battery in his back. Okay, he's signed to a major label. I used to deal with a music label. He does not have the freedom he thought he was going to have going in. Now he does have his own label, but at the end of the day, he answers to the big boys. And if they
right?
tell you to get out there and promote this, if you want to be on the VMAs, guess what you're going to do? Get out there and promote it. They want a socialist society. They want chaos in America because number one, it makes Trump look bad. That's public enemy number one. It makes Trump looks bad. It pushes the narrative that police are actually evil in this country and hate black people, and they just get on TV. Art imitates life. That's what they do. Get on TV and spit it out in front of millions of people, especially young people, because I don't watch the VMAs. I haven't watched that since I was probably 18. They're talking to the youth. It's indoctrination. That's all it is.
And I do not want the police defunded, abolished. I love the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not perfect, but I have respect for the police. Like
Right.
I never had a bad encounter with the police.
Neither
Honestly.
have I. I have never had one, like ever.
Even when I was doing questionable things,
Right.
I'm not gonna get into it.
Exactly.
I got you.
I have, but it was with black police, so you can't claim. I can't claim racism.
Oh, they're the
Like,
worst ones, man.
Oh, they are definitely the worst.
They're the
Out.
worst.
But now that I'm older, I see why they were like that because I'm some young, teenager, don't know what's going on in the world, and I'm acting a fool outside the school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One time it wasn't deserved, but one time it was. So I understand. It's really about empathizing with the police, putting yourself in their shoes. Like they have to deal with some crazy stuff. Like they
Definitely.
see stuff that we would never in a million years want to have to deal with. Looking at bodies of children slain in the streets and
Yeah.
responding to all kinds of crazy accidents and things like that. How many lives they save on a daily basis? Like
Yeah, man.
these people should be admired.
They're on the front lines. They don't deal or encounter with what we deal with as the average American. Like, I don't see shooting. I don't deal with criminals every day. I don't see dead bodies, like you said. They see the worst. The
Yeah.
worst. And we have to appreciate them because once that's gone, there is no security for anybody walking this country. unless you can pay for your own personal security, you're on your own. You're
Unless you've
on
been
your
stacking up
own.
on ammo like I've been
I heard
stacking
that
up
there's
on
going to be a
guns.
new bill that passed. I don't know how true this is. I have to investigate it. So all this is alleged, but they're going to add a 50% tax on guns and bullets to make it pretty much not even people can afford it anymore. I forgot what city
Yeah.
it's in, but it's a state. It's in a liberal state, and I'm not
Of
surprised.
course.
But the baby makes all Charlotte people shake our heads. Yes, he does. I'm from Charlotte. All right. I've met the baby a few times, and I can say I'm not impressed at all by any of it. He's not. I just.
How is it? I
I
could do a
love
chewing
J.
gum. I could
Cole.
sound like a baby if I chewed
Yeah,
gum.
Cole, yeah.
We
He
need
does.
to uplift artists like J. Cole. He is one of the few artists that actually talk about what's going on. If you haven't listened to his new mixtape, he put a 2-song mixtape out. Go listen to it. He's
Yeah.
talking about what we do in the black community and how black men value themselves.
All right. So, Tony,
Yeah.
would you be interested in having this debate again, but with this dude that I'm talking to on it?
Yeah, why not? I welcome debates.
All right, because I want you to hear this part, and I wasn't even angry anymore. I was literally almost in tears because it hurt so much.
Wow.
It literally hurt. Like it. I haven't had that at all in this whole conversation since I started media.
Hmm.
I haven't had the feeling like I knew racism exists, but I never had it defined in front of me like this.
Wow.
And tell me if this doesn't hurt you, okay? As a
Hmm.
black person, even if your background's the ghetto or not, tell me if this doesn't hurt you.
Okay.
Because I asked him, can you go into Chicago and apply and get a job anywhere in the ghettos of Chicago? And remember, he said he doesn't have to because, they don't run the money.
Right.
And I said, but privilege is advantage, you said. So what would you get it if you applied? He says privilege is having enough options to not need to find a job in the ghetto.
What?
Hold on. It gets worse. If your point is that white people would suffer discrimination within a black community, I'll give you that, but that's irrelevant. Privilege is never having to need to because the vast majority of the economic means is controlled by whites. And that's an objective fact. So no rich black people around. There's no black CEOs, no black people
Wow.
controlling the economy at all. And here's the part that got my stomach. I don't need to worry about discrimination by the black community because I don't need their resources.
Wow.
So he's saying we need theirs.
Yeah.
So 2 middle him.
He just flipped off the entire black community because he don't need our
Wow.
resources. But that's not the same for the black community. They need white people.
You know what? Tell him every time he
Yes.
flips on his light, tell him every time he taps a elevator button, you need
Make sure
that
he
because
more
a
than
black
that.
man made it.
Tell him
So
the
you
last time he
actually
watched his
do.
first shutter launch, it was 4 black chicks that did that for him too. Bro, that hurt. That
Yeah,
hurt. Like,
white liberals, they look at us like their pet projects, like the
They
little,
do.
the little
bro. We're
sister kid
animals
that we
to
gotta
him.
protect.
Oh, Joe Biden
Uh,
said it. I'm going to play that clip. Joe Biden said it. These people cannot be there. They don't have the mental capacity. That's what he did with his fingers. But basically, like, there's no redemption for us. We can't be helped. We can't be saved because
Wow.
the black community is just so far gone. And you have how many black people standing behind this man, pushing him, uplifting him. He's not racist. Yes, he is, bro. He called little
yeah,
black kids roaches.
what's his advisor name? The bald chick, man,
Oh, yeah. Simone Sanders. I can't stand her.
she is
The
ridiculous,
linebacker,
man.
the female Ray Lewis.
Like
She's the
she
female
she
Ray
stands
Lewis. Built like a brick house. That's the one. She is big.
she she stands
Golly,
behind
she
her candidate. To hell or high water, she stands behind him.
It's
Like
crazy
and
because all
it's
of these people call us Sambo. Lost Uncle Tom, you tap dancing for Master, you a sellout. But you are the people selling us out.
Exactly.
You promote black victimization. LeBron James, T.I., all the rappers. We're all black victims, and y'all can be rich though. You can go off in the world, go on vacations, travel, see the world, but you sell crap to your own communities, bro. That is the most disgusting thing that you can do. I just think it's so disrespectful. I get so irritated every time I see LeBron get on TV and talk about black people being scared. Who is scared?
He lives next to nothing but white people. They all live next to white people.
That's why he's
But
scared.
he's so
That's why he's
scared of white
scared.
supremacy.
That's why he's scared, because he live around white people. He afraid they're gonna steal his money.
Come to the hood. Come to Brooklyn. Build
Nah,
a
he ain't
house
gonna
in
do that.
Brooklyn.
He ain't
Y'all
gonna do
gonna
that.
take his
No,
money.
just how about he just go back to Akron? Like, all the crime that's going on there right now. Like,
Oh,
go to Akron. Ask them how scared they are around people that look like us. Like, it's crazy.
At
I
least
talk.
That's
people
where the
like
fear
at
is.
least at least people like Akon, like at least he's actually doing like he promotes victimization to an extent,
Yeah,
but he's actually doing something like going to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like telling people to find their roots. Like these celebrities, they're like
Yeah,
telling you you're oppressed, but they're running around with a bunch of white people. Like I don't understand and saying that
right.
white people are the enemy. Like
but Akon
at
from
least
there,
do
though.
something to back up your thoughts. Like
He is
I would
from
actually
there.
respect
He
you.
is from there. You're right, and he has
Yeah.
gone back to try to fix his community. That's
Yeah.
what I do
Exactly.
like about him.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I don't. I think this particular conversation with this dude and us having this conversation kind of just my brain is kind of like just melting right now. Like
He,
I'm gonna have to make a video about this now, and I'm gonna
yeah,
have to call him out on it. I won't name his name, but I'm definitely gonna read everything he said, because I think for a long time the blacks on the left always consider these advocates their friend.
yep. Hey,
And I
look,
think if they know what they think about them and their ghetto and their life,
mm-hmm.
they realize they don't care. If you can't give me something, don't come talking to me.
Yeah, look,
We're
Malcolm
not
X said
You
it the
know,
best,
I'll
bro.
say Malcolm
Malcolm
X.
X said it the best in
Out.
his
the liberal.
the
Yeah.
ballot or the bullet speech when he said the white liberal is the enemy to the black man. And if you, as a black man and a black woman, are going to vote for these people, you're a sellout and you're a traitor to your race. Malcolm X said this in 1963, and you still got black people selling us out. Still.
and you know what's something crazy? Like, all these white liberals, Antifa, them, they're trying to spark a race war and things like that. But they don't know black people like we do. If they
Yeah.
start a race war, they're not gonna be safe. Like,
Fuck no.
but you know,
Exactly.
niggas, like, it, I don't know if I can say the word,
Go
but
ahead.
niggas
It's
gonna come
free.
for you. Like, niggas ain't gonna ask you like, oh, are you a liberal or do you? They're not gonna ask you none of that. Like, if you
I
start
have
a
a
race
slave.
war, they coming for you.
I have a slave. See,
What's
that's my slave. That's my boy. That's my boy. No, I don't need that. Thank you. Thank you. I can take some iced tea though. If you got some iced tea, I'll
I'm
take
glad
that.
y'all are having this conversation. Thank you everybody for watching. These conversations that we have um as black people, and most of us here are conservative, are important because you only get one side of black people. And the
Mm-hmm.
other side, they depict us as self-hating, that we're appealing to the white people because we are really the ones that hate black people, but we're the ones that have so much love. A lot of us are willing to deal with persecution, being called sellouts,
Right.
house niggers, all this stuff.
All it.
I don't have to sit on social media and do that, but because I want you to wake up and know the truth, here I am.
People have to learn the difference between loving black culture and loving black people. All right, because
Hmm.
most of these people, they only love the culture. They only love the slang, the lifestyles, the clothes
Yeah.
and things like that. But that's not caring about black people. So if you speak or say anything negative about black culture, they think you're attacking black people, and that's not the case. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? black culture needs to be addressed and it needs to be dealt with. But that's not hating black people. That's hating this culture that we perverted, and that we
Yeah,
taken and made something disgusting out of it. So,
it's just sad. It's sad, um, because we don't know our history as Black people. I know I didn't know it. I definitely didn't know it. I didn't know about Thomas Sowell. I didn't know about Walter Williams. I didn't know about all these great people. Herman Cain, back when I was younger, my husband's family, they really exposed me to a lot. A lot. I used to watch a lot of Glenn Beck with them and I would just see just different things and I'm like, it's a mental fuck if I can be honest when you learn all these things and you're just like, damn, like we're just being sold lies, essentially. It's just
If they can keep
lies.
you in the dark, if they can keep you in the dark and keep you uneducated and keep you in your emotions, if they can keep, because the emotion's stronger than fact,
Hmm.
it'll derail you from fact every time. It
Yep.
is the strongest emotion in the human psyche. But if I can keep you there, if I can keep you thinking that, hey, this person dislikes me, and you don't have to know why, I just have to make you believe it. Anything I say after that that will increase that
Hmm.
endorphin rush, increase that hate, increase that emotional rush,
Yep.
I have you hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a
because
that's a Nazi tactic. In case people don't know that either, Joseph Goebbels started that. You tell a lie big enough for long enough, people will believe it.
yeah, and it's leading to our destruction if like that amount of emotions in everything, and
Yeah.
having allowing people to manipulate those is gonna lead to our destruction. If you look at the Bible, with Pharaoh, he kept hardening his heart, and it was his emotions that was driving him, despite the fact that God just sent all these plagues and killed your
Hmm.
firstborn. You're not listening to that. That's the power of emotions. It will lead you to your own destruction, and that's what it's doing for black people. If
Hmm.
we was to go through another Great Depression right now, or something worse, something we've never seen before, who are gonna be the first to die off? Who will be the first people, to be destroyed? It's gonna be people in our neighborhoods, in our
It
communities
is.
that we grew up around. People who weren't able to, escape those
Yeah.
realities. And we doing them a disservice by keeping, the wool over their head, thinking that they're oppressed, that they can't move beyond those situations, and we're leading
Facts.
them right to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah. And we start believing like this guy believes that because you're in that area, there's no way for you, you don't have any opportunity to come out.
Not
You just
true.
stuck there. You just stuck there, and that's how it is. And because whites control everything, you can't get out of there. It's the same thing. Have you ever seen Ami walks the streets? Is this
Yeah.
um so he went out asking white liberals
Yeah, I have that
about
video.
the
It's
same thing about,
crazy.
do you think that the voter ID thing is racist? Of course, because they can't get IDs in the ghettos.
We don't have internet in the ghetto.
They don't have, it's too expensive for them to have internet, and they go to the ghetto and they ask them, what the hell are you talking about? Of course I got internet. Everybody got internet.
Look,
I
Obama
have to have
gave
an ID.
everybody in the hood a phone.
Jeez. But they all have this guy's mindset. All
That's
of them have this
crazy.
mindset. I have what I have because, I'm white and I was born better than you. I'm sorry, but that's just how I was born. I don't want to be, but I am. And
That's
so,
insane.
I don't need your money. I don't need your influence because of how much influence I already have. I mean, I'm just so much better. But I'm not better. I have an advantage, you know. Yeah, just
It's a pity. I was just talking to a white liberal last night. She's an older lady. She said, "You know what? You Trump supporters, you Black Trump supporters, are really angry." And I was like, "What? What makes you think I'm angry?"
they don't
See?
they ain't angry yet. They ain't too angry yet.
I said, "What? Uh oh." I hate when this happens.
That's what truth sounds like to somebody who, believes the lie. It sounds like anger. But if you think about it, like, even if you do say we're angry, we have a right to be. Like, once you wake up and realize that
Hell
these
yeah.
people have been lying to us our whole lives, and they're
Hmm.
actually, keeping that blanket over the heads of my community, and it's leading to the destruction of so many of them.
Yep.
Like, that's something to be angry, about with me.
Look, the New
You
Deal.
know.
we have a period of Black history that we don't talk about. Right after slavery was abolished, Blacks were thriving and showing up in the economy. Right, we were
Mm-hmm.
business owners. We had Black Wall Street. We had people
Exactly.
graduating, becoming doctors. We had the first 7 Black senators that ran as Republican. That piece of history is not talked about at all. We don't hear about it. It skips it immediately to the civil rights. We skip the New Deal, which started the destruction of the Black community, right? Because that's what started welfare state. Nobody knows about that. Nobody knows about the historical filibuster that 6 Democrats tried to block the Civil Rights Act. They didn't even want us to have civil rights
The longest filibuster ever.
in history.
The longest filibuster ever. Yeah.
6 Democrats.
And you
And a Republican stood up and said, no, it stronger than all armies is a new idea that's come, and that's Everett Durskin. Every Black person needs to have this education, and we don't get it in school. We don't get it in school.
yeah, and all that really is that's true American history because I definitely think like we need to learn a real history and we
Mm-hmm.
we need to even go back further than that like to back to Reconstruction and
Yep.
right after the Reconstruction era and actually see what happened when Democrats regained control of the South and how that affected us like
Mm-hmm.
it pretty much set up the scene for the next 100 years of our lynching, of our oppression, of our the demise of our our spirit as a people,
Mm-hmm.
and that history is lost because that's when the Democrats really gained control and started terrorizing our people.
You know, Brother Bob said it best. I know you know who Bob Marley is.
Yep.
Of
Mm.
course.
He said the truth is an offense, but not a sin.
Mm-hmm.
And that man was put down for that one specific reason because he promoted Black education. He promoted the mind. They had to get rid of voices that tried to wake us up over the years. They got rid of Martin Luther King. They got
Yeah.
rid of Malcolm X. They got rid of Marcus Garvey. They got rid of all these people. As
Yeah.
soon as they start tapping on that glass wall to let us free, they couldn't have that. They could not have that, you know. Knowledge will always be power.
It
And
is.
if I can keep you unknowledgeable and keep you stupid, which is why they're also against school choice.
Yes.
Remember this, Black people. They're against school. The
They're
Democrats are
against
against
school
school choice
choice.
because they don't want you in the ghetto deciding which school you should go to, and you're not just
Yep.
staying in the one they put you in.
School
It's
zones
Joe
can't.
Biden busing 2.0, okay? Just so you know. It's Joe Biden busing 2.0.
That's right.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden is so racist. He's so racist.
So racist.
He don't even have to hide it. He says stuff, and Black people are just like, it's Joe Biden.
He don't hide it.
And
When
that's
does he?
and that's the point. That's the point. He's somebody you can't really take seriously. Oh, this guy definitely can't destroy the country. Like, he's somebody that
Look,
a old fool.
policies and legislation dictate what happens in this country. And policies from the Democratic Party have always targeted the African American community in negative ways. It just has. So all these systemic racist comments, I don't believe systemic racism exists. I don't think that's a thing. But there are policies and there are systems that are in place for you to not, like the plantation, I call it the plantation. It's a mental plantation. It's designed for you never to leave it. If you're a part of the system, it's designed for you to stay there. You're unhappy because you're in the system. Do you know who the number one employer of Black men are? What do you guys think?
Prison.
The state.
Prison.
The state. The state is the number one employer of Black men and Black women. That is why you're so unhappy. You make what they want you to make, and that's it.
Just enough to get by.
That's it. It's a mental plantation, and it's time to leave. I say that to Black people, and they get pissed. What you mean? Get off the
No,
plantation.
the response I always get, well, I don't vote Democrat anyway. I don't vote for either one. Well, why am I having this conversation with you if you don't even vote? You don't have a opinion.
I gotta ask you a question, Lorenzo, because you're the youngest person here. How has what was your red pill moment? I want to know what your red pill moment was.
Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell. I watched the video. It was called Thomas Sowell. Like he was speaking in 1984,
Hmm.
and he was just like, I was so emotional. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I was just like, I didn't grow up with my father. Like
Hmm.
and like I saw things in one perspective, like, oh, men are just oppressing women,
Hmm.
men hate women, like women hate men. But it's like I didn't grow up seeing how a man and a woman was supposed to react until he came home. He got back with my mother, like the way, his strength and how he leaded the house. And it's like, this is what I want to be when I get older. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
we was meant to be together. Like, you're not supposed to hate on a woman, you're not supposed to hate on
Right.
a man. Like, and it's just, we don't use logic anymore. And Thomas Sowell's logic actually opened me up. And it was, well, I will say for me, because my father came back with my
Hmm.
mom and I was able to see, it really just helped me see things from another perspective. Like, it
Facts.
stopped the emotion. And a lot of people don't really have that. So
They don't. And
they'll
you
never
know
know what
what?
it's
You're
like.
right.
Yeah.
I am that statistic that Obama talks about. The single parent, you know, you are 10 times more likely to drop out of school. I think it's 20 times more likely to go to jail, 15 times more likely to do drugs. When you don't have that masculine role model
Yeah.
involved, you get involved in a lot of things because you're looking. You're looking for that. I've looked for my dad everywhere, and I've known my dad my entire life, but he wasn't as present as a child needs their parent to be. You need your parents. You need your dad. Fathers are important.
Exactly.
But what are we at? We're at an hour. Let's see. We can do this again, right? Because these conversations are needed, but people have short attention spans, and they're not going to sit here for 4 hours listen to all us talk. But I hope to have you guys back, especially you, Lorenzo, because you touch the youth. You really do. I'm
Yeah.
not old, but they look at me like I'm old,
Yeah.
and they don't want to listen. So you're really a role model, and I'm just I get proud. I smile every time I see your post come across my timeline because I'm like, wow, this kid is smart. You don't meet many young black men like you, and we need more. So I want you to know that I appreciate you, and I commend you because it's amazing.
Yeah, you're making
Yeah.
grandma and grandpa proud.
You are. You
Suni
do
being
are.
grandma, I mean, Suni's grandma. I'm grandpa. I
Man,
think we're the two
I'm
oldest ones
30.
here,
Hold
right?
up.
Are we the two
I ain't even
oldest ones
30
here?
yet.
Who's the oldest here? Would that be me?
Yep.
I just turned 30. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I got y'all by at least 13 years. That's crazy. That is
But
insane.
But
So,
yeah,
okay,
we
I do want all you four, on the next one. I'm gonna set one up myself,
okay.
and I'm gonna do it with Suni, so I can get this a hat on the line too, because I need him to see the gamut of black people that think he's talking absolute trash, because that kind of mindset has to be squashed. We got, because he's gonna go out and pervert a lot of other black minds
Right.
with that nonsense, and keep them in the victimhood mindset. And we can't have that. We gotta at least break one out. So
Nip that in the
I'll set
bud.
it up
Yeah.
and I'll let you know.
Okay. I appreciate all you guys for coming on. I appreciate you showing up. Like I said, we have to do this again. I think we're gonna make this a reoccurring thing where I have a lot of different black conservatives. And if you know any more young conservatives, Lorenzo, that aren't scared to speak out,
I don't know any of them,
you
man.
don't know any.
I
Oh,
just got on this campus, so I'm
okay.
gonna, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna definitely speak my mind. I don't care who don't like me. I'm gonna say what I have to say. You ain't gotta like me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get the gist.
Bags.
I'm gonna wake them up.
I think it's a lot more that than we think that is just scared
Way more.
to speak up. That
Hmm.
grew up in conservative households, hear their daddy or mama talking about Trump, and they're just scared to kind of come out with it. So
Right.
Exactly.
definitely, show up and show out.
Show up. And thank you guys for coming. I will have you back. I'll let you guys know when the next show can happen. I appreciate you all. Um, I have a few questions in the viewers. You guys can stick around. If you don't want to, that's cool too. I know a few
Yeah,
people
I
have
gotta
to
go. I'm
drop
about to
off.
go study.
Okay, well, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
All
All right.
right.
Bye.
All right.
Bye bye. I'm going to read a few of y'all's comments, and maybe I can answer some, maybe I can't. So let me go through a few. What is this? Can I subscribe to your podcast? Yes, you can. I'm on YouTube. We're gonna be doing this on YouTube. I'm phasing this out because Facebook has turned into commie China, and I can't deal with it anymore. Um, I'm gonna put the link in the comment section so you guys can have it. We appreciate you guys for watching. Honestly, you guys are what makes you make this work. If we don't have viewers, it doesn't really matter. And those guys are cool. Like I consider these guys friends, even though we have never spent an ounce of physical time together. We're still in the fight together to free minds because it's mental bondage is what it is. It's mental bondage. I didn't even see all these comments over here. I'm sorry guys. I missed y'all over here. This episode was fire. Thank you, Jonathan. We gotta have you back on too, man. It's always fun. What happens when you have a whole society awakened? Oh, we're gonna take over. We're gonna take over. That's what's gonna happen. They don't want that. Thank you for watching, Holly. It's okay. You can go back and watch it back. This episode will be uploaded to YouTube, so subscribe, hit the like button, comment, let us know your thoughts, and hit the notification bell so you can get notifications anytime we go live because this will be a live broadcast on YouTube and anytime I post videos. I do a lot of political commentary and I do a lot of commentary just based on what's happening in the world. But there's the link in the description. He called me sooner. Liberals hate charter schools. They do. Liberals hate anything when you give people a choice and they can't control it. I didn't know that. Joseph Hogan said, and the filibuster leader was praised by Joe Biden in the liberal media. I never knew that. See? That's just disgusting behavior. It's disgusting. Let me see what some other comments are. I got a lot of comments. Jeez. Logic. This is Maria. Logic isn't anger, it's knowledge. Anger is fueled by emotions. People can only be manipulated through inciting emotions. Yes, they can. I'm going to pin that comment because that's amazing. I agree with that 100%. Well, we're going to hop off of here, guys. I'll respond to the comments. I'll go back through, look at the different comments, and get back to you guys. But as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Please don't take our word for it. Do your own research, expand your mind, fill it with knowledge, because once you have that, it's a powerful feeling. You feel liberated once you let go of the emotions and you think with logic. But this was Hot Mike. This is a pop-up show. I'm Suni. Thank you guys for watching. I so appreciate it, and y'all have a good night.